Hi, I'm Reverend Kenn Blanchard, and if you got about 9 minutes, I want to share something with you. In my 59 years of life, I have fought people, ideas, crime, poverty, depression, oppression, racism, sexism, doubt, insecurity, fear, unbelief, mental, physical, and spiritual illness, and sin of all kinds. I got the wrinkles, the moles, and the scars to prove it. But in 2021, I have never cried so much for as long as I can remember. It's been a tough year for me. I've learned a lot about myself and about my God, and I just want to share that with you. This week, coming up, my wife returns home from rehab after 50 plus days in hospital. She had a removal of a brain tumor, a little bit bigger than a lemon, smaller than a grapefruit, in her head, benign tumor. And the recovery from this surgery was worse. She is recovering, and like a stroke victim, she can't walk, talk, or eat. Her mouth has forgot how to operate. She has a feeding tube in her stomach. And she's coming home after 3.5 weeks in rehab, not because she can do anything for herself, but because she's outstayed the length of time on our insurance plan. And the so-called therapy people have been severely lacking, if you ask me. I've done more this last week than I've seen them do. And she was still in rehab. So I'll be adding the occupation of caregiver, speech, occupational, and physical therapist to my resume come Monday. And I'm going to do all this, I'm going to do it well. In spite of me, in spite of my fear, in spite of my worry, in spite of feeling inadequate, in spite of being overwhelmed. And the remnants of all those feelings are still in my heart, still in my body. I ache every morning, and I know it's from the stress. But I know that God has built me for this. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not. Thy compassion, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. I've asked you for prayer, and you've given it. Thank you so much. I believe God has heard your prayers. I wouldn't have made it this far if it weren't for the prayers of his people. God is faithful. He has been right there through all this with me, through the 2 surgeries, through the transfusions, through hospital is not a cool place to visit. I don't know if you know that or not. It's sick people in there. It's dead people in there. It's stuff that you don't want to deal with. And people who are healthcare workers and caregivers, it's a special talent for that. And everybody doesn't have it. You have asked if there's anything that you can do. Here's the truth. I'm not really big on asking for help because I really hate being disappointed. But please continue to pray. And if you are close enough to me, I might ask you for something when I really need it. Sorrow looks back. Worry looks around. But faith looks up. David wrote, I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and the earth. I thought that was pretty cool, right? Jesus looked up. He said, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that the Son may glorify you, after he lifted his eyes to heaven. Like the song, I want to draw near to Christ. Let my soul look up with a steadfast hope, and let my will be lost in the Lord's. You ever run with your head down? I don't recommend it. You ever walk around with your head down? You ever start your day off with your head down? Now, usually when you say, I'm putting my head down, that means you're trying to avoid trouble or some difficult situation, hoping that nobody will notice you. But I'm saying, trouble gonna find you anywhere. Don't hide. Job said that man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. Stuff gonna happen whether you are hiding or not. Trouble comes. It rains on the just and the unjust alike. Every morning, new mercies I see. You know, every time you get up, you got two choices. You can either go back to sleep and dream for a better life, or you get up and make it happen. I was watching the Olympic trials the other day. The runners, they're all milling around, they're shaking themselves, they're getting loose, they put themselves in their position, they put their feet on the block. They were like focusing for a minute, and then somebody fires the shot. Pow! And they look up and they rise, and their arms and their hands are reaching ahead, and their legs are pushing upwards, and man, they are flying across that track. Faith is like that. We are all just here in various stages and levels in life. Some of us are ready for the race, some of us are not. Some have our feet on the blocks, and some are still waiting for the shot. Where are you in the position? Where are you in the ready stages for when the shot goes off? How are you with Christ? You know, from time to time, I get lost in my past. I know I'm not by myself. I start looking in that rearview mirror. And you know, you can't go safely forward in the right direction if you're looking behind you. Yeah, sometimes I still get down, especially after these last 50 days. I know I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got trouble in my life. You ever think like that? I'm just here to tell you that you're not by yourself. Trouble will find you, and you're going to have to cry sometimes. I lay awake at night, but that's all right. Jesus will fix it after a while. I believe that too. How can Jesus fix my trouble? I'm glad you asked. See, you have to have faith in him. You have to believe it was God that sent him. You have to believe that it was Jesus that died for you to give you a chance, to give you a choice. You have to believe that faith in Jesus will get you out of the trouble, out of the now, and into heaven. Faith looks up. Now, I know it's hard to see heaven down here. It's hard to see heaven when you're in a hell right now. It's hard because you know this ain't it. As good as your life could be right now, this ain't heaven. My soul looks up with a steadfast hope. Something on the inside of me knows this ain't home. Looking at those folks in the rehab, looking at their bodies, I know this ain't it. No matter what the smart people say, no matter what the cool people say, no matter what the educated people say, this ain't it. My soul, my faith looks up. Jesus said, when I am lifted up, I will draw all people unto me. And I believe that. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning in thee. Thou changest not. Thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your prayers. God bless.